What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. This is a TRD Off Road 4x4 finished in Blue Crush Metallic. MSRP is $53,600. Big shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing this new truck for today's video. Take a look at their website, links down below. Underneath the hood of the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off Road, you're going to find the 2.4 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It pumps out 278 horsepower with 317 pound-feet of torque. This has an 8-speed automatic transmission, runs on an 18.2 gallon fuel tank. Curb weight is around 4,600 pounds, and you can expect 19 miles per gallon in the city with 24 out on the highway. Overall payload is 1,600 pounds, and then max towing capacity is about 6,300 pounds. The overall length is 213 inches with a wheelbase at 131.9. Width is 77.8 and height is 74.6 inches. Taking a look at the styling now with the all-new 4th gen Toyota Tacoma, this is definitely a bit more rugged and sporty comparing it to the previous generation. You got a nice blacked out design for the LED headlights with halogen on the turn signals, a body color surrounding the plastic black grille, Toyota badge right in the center, and quite a lot of openings to provide cooling to the engine and intercooler. You got a trim piece underneath the headlight, and then part of the fender flare, there is a nice vent through it to allow some airflow. There are forward-facing parking sensors, some LED fog lights, more openings down below, and a safety sensor. And then you can see a nice skid plate material down below and a metal skid plate underneath. The new Tacoma definitely has a good style. This color especially really complements it well. You have some nice sharp body lines throughout the hood just to give it that more aggressive design. And then as you make your way to the side profile, you got the massive plastic fender flares to protect the paint. And I love these TRD wheels. You get the machined silver along with the satin black. They're 17-inch diameter and wrapped in an all-terrain tire. There's also Bilstein shocks for this TRD off-road, and then sharp body lines throughout that front bumper. Got your Tacoma logo in black, then a nice powder coating on these TRD side steps. They have a great look to them. Sharp lines in the lower portion of these doors. And then you can see the mirror cap finished in blue with a turn signal, plastic black for the door handles, and then all black trim throughout these windows. The Tacoma is a full 4-door crew cab with the shorter bed, has a pretty good side profile, nice proportions all around. And I like how the bed side has a lot of curves and bulges just to give it a nice aggressive look. Got the TRD Off-Road logo, a side step that will pop outwards, plastic for your rear bumper caps, all the sensors, trailer hitch right in the center, along with all the connections. And then down below we have our exhaust tip on the far left. Part of the frame, you have a lift point as well, 4x4 badge, and then Tacoma stamped into the tailgate, blacked out inlays along with your backup camera, and then the release handle. Got nice sharp lines in the upper portion of the tailgate, and then we have the power sliding rear glass, third brake light, and cool contours throughout that roof. Moving on to the key fob, we get lock, unlock, along with a panic icon. If I go ahead and lock the truck, you can just grab the door handle. It's going to automatically unlock, and we can take a look at the interior. This one just has the basic fabric interior. You're going to see a little bit of contrast stitching and then white trim on the dash and doors. On the door panel, you get some hard plastic all throughout it, just a little bit of padding on the armrest, the white with the TRD logo, nice texture for your grab handle, and then all of your controls with the release handle. There's quite a lot of storage space throughout the door panel, and then power controls on these seats, and you can get a good idea of the larger bolsters for the bases with the contrast stitching. Nice little bit of a pattern throughout it, stitching on the headrest, and a pretty nice aggressive steering wheel with the perforated leather 4-spoke design and some silver trim. And then now inside the 2024 Tacoma TRD Off-Road, keep my foot on the brake. You can go ahead and fire it up. Got a nice LCD screen for your gauge cluster, tack on the left, speedometer on the right. You can see a boost gauge in it. I can scroll left and right on the steering wheel and configure a little bit of what you're going to see inside. If I hold down the OK icon, I can also further adjust each section of the screen to view a few more bits of information. You can scroll left and right, boost gauge, blank, all sorts of different things. So pretty cool, the configuration level. It's a very simple screen, but also very nice at the same time. On the steering wheel, you got your Toyota badge, some stitching material, and then you can see those arrows, Bluetooth and audio, cruise control settings on the right. The stock on the right side is for your windshield wiper, and then we have the headlights and turn signals down below. On the left side, you're going to see we have interior dimming, automatic high beams, extra auxiliaries if you want to add some things, a little bit of that white trim, and then just some plastic throughout the dashboard. This one does have the JBL audio system with a removable Bluetooth speaker. So pretty cool to see that as well. Popping that back into place, you're gonna see Tacoma written on the right side with a little bit of storage, more of that white trim, and then the massive multimedia screen. This is a huge screen, has a lot of information for audio, Bluetooth integration. Of course, you'll have a full screen navigation once you set this up, integration for your phone, and then under vehicle, you have trip information, mileage, MPG, things like that. Vehicle alerts, if anything, and then for this setting, you can see everything in the truck. If I go ahead and put this into reverse, got a big backup camera, super HD graphics. You can make it more of a widescreen as well, and then back into park. Some trucks will have a 360 camera view. You have your volume right down below with your air vents, heated steering wheel and seats, and all of your different climate. Very easily you can adjust your AC, toggle your fan speed, temperature, zone. So really nice and easy to operate that. We have our braking adjustments as well, wireless charging and a ton of storage space, extra auxiliary plugs, and then you can see more storage along with a grab handle. Got the TRD name written out on the shifter, and then down below you can see your electronic park and brake. Four-wheel drive, you can easily lock it and unlock it to toggle into each drive mode. We have our actual drive modes right now, which will pop up on the screen with a normal, sport, and eco. And then you have your towing and hauling mode, and then you can do downhill assist, crawl, multi-terrain select. This truck also has a locking rear differential, cup holders in the center, a little bit of rubber for your padding on the armrest, and then a decent storage area. Glove box on the right side, pretty large bucket. And then one last look at the interior. Pretty nice interior overall. There is a $8,000 package to get the leather, the ventilated seats, and a much more premium interior. But nonetheless, this still does fit very comfortably. It's pretty nice in here as well. You do get some dome lights, a sunglass holder, garage door buttons underneath your mirror. Moving on to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, the rear door panel finished off in plastic. So you got some pretty uncomfortable armrests. Still have the same white TRD logo with your grab handle and storage. And then you're gonna have all the same fabric back here with some contrast stitching and a nice design. These headrests will fold down for better driver visibility, and then the center one gets out of the way too. No center armrest or anything, no air vents either, but you do get two cup holders as well as some plugs, a little bit of storage on that side, and then you can lift these bases up and you have a really nice cubby down below. So you have a ton of hidden storage space all underneath. If you option this for the hybrid engine, you will not get this. So this is a nice touch for the gas cars. And then you can also grab this strap. Pulling this, these seats will fold down nice and flat, and you have a durable carpet back, the JBL sub, and extra storage space on the other side. All right, so hopping into the back seat with the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. So at 5'11", I am sitting here with really good headroom. That's like 7 or 8 inches. And with the driver's seat at my height, my knee room is really good. The seat base does a pretty decent job cradling you. I will say the backrests are really straight up. They kind of push you forward a little bit. So as a full-grown adult, I would honestly say this is a little on the uncomfortable side. In a pinch though, I mean, 2-3 people won't be the worst back here. Kids probably won't complain too much, and you might be able to fit a car seat. It might be a little tight. So it's a fine back seat. No climate vents and no armrest. I think that's a big drawback. General Motors is going to give you a much better back seat if you want to go for the competition. But other than those issues, it's decent enough. There's good storage back here. So it's an all right back seat. I've seen better though. Moving on to the bed space, if I grab the logo back here, the handle will unlock it. You got a soft open. This one even has a nice spray-in bed liner, giving you a really durable bed. On this left side, you have some storage and some hidden plugs here. You're gonna see 3 rails on the entire upper section. That way you can add some extra hooks. You're also gonna get a power outlet in this upper section, more storage down below, and then there are quite a few different tie hooks all throughout it with LED lighting to make this a very useful bed. From here, it doesn't weigh all too much. We can easily close it up. All right, so setting off now in the Tacoma TRD Off Road. So this is a pretty nice seating position. I really like how you have so many adjustments for the seats and steering wheel. Honestly, just fit really comfortable in this truck. It's a big difference from the previous generation. Plenty of legroom, headroom, really everything. Steering wheel also feels pretty nice in your hands, and the steering feel is pretty direct. It's heavy enough to give you some feedback, but not crazy heavy to be annoying, and certainly not light to where it's super vague. Getting up and go in normal mode. Keeping the revs closer to 4,000, this thing is peppy. You get up so easily without really stressing the motor. So I like that aspect. I think it makes this truck more enjoyable to drive than the old V6, where you don't feel like you gotta redline it, stomp the throttle every time. You can just kind of drive it like normal, and it's a pretty peppy truck. Visibility's all pretty good, kind of like what you would expect on any truck. Really good view out the front. Same with the back. Those headrests will fold down so you can get better view. Now this screen, honestly, I kind of like the smaller one better just because they do the exact same things. And if you don't have the nice 360 camera, you really don't need this extra screen. It's a standalone option, doesn't really cost much, and most of these trucks are honestly gonna have it. I find it a little big, it looks a little tacky, quite honestly. Use of materials, there's a lot of plastics in here. The things you touch aren't bad, like the steering wheel, the shifter. I like the rugged rubber handles on some things, it feels pretty good. I just wouldn't mind a little bit less cheap plastic for a pretty expensive truck. And you gotta spend like 7 or 8 grand to get the nice ventilated seats with the Softex and nicer materials on the door. I really wish for like 2 grand you could get those seats, because that would be a nice touch. But overall ride quality, it still feels like a truck. It does have the coil springs in back, no more leaf springs on a nicer trim level like this, and the ride quality is pretty smooth, but it's still, you can like feel the bumps a little bit like a truck, so it's not super soft like some vehicles are getting. So I like that aspect with the new Tacoma. You feel up high too. Not bad at all. It's honestly is a good place to be. I enjoy sitting here, I'm very comfortable. Much more comfortable than some other trucks in this class. I think this and General Motors are the top 2 mid-size trucks, in my own personal opinion. Everything else I think is a little bit of a step down. The tech all is easy to use. I love the physical climate controls with the massive dials. It just makes things so nice. And then let's go into sport mode, see if it tunes up the turbo just a little bit. Getting up to some speed. Still nice and peppy, and you can even take manual shift control, which is a nice touch. It's not just a gear limit like older ones, so pretty cool. It drives nice. I don't think you're really gonna have any complaints. All right, so honest thoughts with the Tacoma, flipping around to my perspective. First off, this color looks a lot better in person than I expected. I've seen this a little bit around. It always looked a little too dark, a little bit too purple for my taste, but seeing it in the daylight, actually, I like it a lot. It's a little bit brighter than I thought. So this is a cool spec. I really like the exterior design. The interior, my biggest complaint is just the materials, you know, hard, cheap plastic. I mean, that's, I think, a little lame, kind of crappy materials, quite honestly, for most of this interior. And I hate how you have to spend like 8 grand to get the, basically a premium package, to get all of the synthetic leather material all throughout the interior. I mean, the ventilated seats I would really want. They look awesome. They perform really well. You get some of that on the door panels. It just makes the interior so much nicer. And, you know, I've spec'd a GMC Canyon AT4 for like 47 grand with a full leather interior and nice materials all throughout it. So it's kind of hard to justify. This is like 10 grand more than basically every other rival that's equally equipped. Now you can certainly spend 65, you know, almost 70 grand on some of the GMCs, AT4X, AEV versions and things like that. But you can get nicely equipped Ford Ranger, Colorado, Canyon, the Frontier for like 10 grand less than this. So Toyota has definitely priced this pretty high, and I wish they did it a little bit different with the trim levels and packages. I like the TRD Off Road. That's probably what my brother's gonna be buying shortly, but it's like you either spend 47 grand on a cheap one or spend 57 grand to get everything really nice about it. I just feel like they could have given you more for that money. So that's my only downfall. Reliability, we will see, and resale, we will see. Toyota Tacoma has been #1 for reliability and resale, especially the last generation. It's been the best truck in its class forever. So this new 4th gen truck, time will tell if we see issues pop up and if these end up holding their value better. Because if they do, then it's very well worth spending the 10 grand more, getting a loaded one, knowing that you're pretty much not gonna lose money owning it. Then it will be a more cost-effective route than saving the 10 grand up front and then losing 10 grand in depreciation. So again, time will tell. We'll have to see in the next year or so how these trucks are doing. I think you are getting a good driving truck. It rides really nice. It's super comfortable. You do get plenty of technology and really good capabilities. So I like the footprint of the truck. I like everything it has to offer. I think just the price and the cheap interior is kind of what is getting a lot of people. Not to say the competition is astronomically better. It's just when it's $10,000 cheaper with a similar interior, you know, it makes this one feel cheaper because it's a lot more money. What are you paying for with that extra money? You would think reliability and the resale value. So that we will have to see. It's kind of an unknown. But overall though, I think Toyota Tacoma is a cool truck. We're gonna have one on our channel soon. My brother loves these trucks. He will buy it over any other mid-size trucks. So no matter what one is coming to the channel, I think he's gonna go with a hybrid. That's not really all too much more expensive than the normal turbo engine, but you do get like over 400 pound-feet of torque. I think that's gonna be a lot better if you're really towing, because people's complaints with the turbo is that it's not gonna be able to handle truck things like towing. And I can see that. It's a lot of stress, you know, on a boosted motor. But with the hybrid, I think the electronics helping propel the vehicle, I think that's gonna be a huge plus in reliability. So again, we will have to see. But there is a look at this 2024 Tacoma TRD Off Road. I like this color a lot. This is a really good spec. For this money, I would love the fully loaded interior, and then I don't think I would have any complaints. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for plenty more content. Big shout out to Flo Toyota of Statesville for providing this truck for today's video. Take a look at their website, linked down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.